it's time to go do the Mario. Take one step, and then again, let's do the Mario all together now. You got it! It's the Mario!
What's up guys, I'm the Retro Nerd, and well, I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm bringing you the Retro Nerds Top 10, and this time around we're going to do Retro Nerds Top 10 Super Mario Brothers, or Super Mario whatever, you know, depending on what game is, power-ups. So let's get right into it. Okay, for number 10 we got the Super Mushroom. You know, the original iconic mushroom that you got in the first Mario game that made you bigger. I mean, it doesn't do much, but it gives you an extra hit, but it's just one of the iconic ones, so it had to be on the list somewhere, but it's not as good as some of the other ones that I have on the list, so that's number 10, the Super Mushroom. Alright, so number 9 we got the Mini Mushroom, and you're probably wondering, well, Retro Nerd, why did you choose the Mini Mushroom over the Super Mushroom? Well, the Super Mushroom just gives you one extra hit. The Mini Mushroom actually lets you run on water, lets you run faster, lets you jump higher. Plus you can go through the secret little mini warp pipes and like access to different areas and different secrets and stuff, so the Mini Mushroom has more accessibility, I guess, more uses for it than the Super Mushroom does. Super Mushroom just gives you one extra hit, whoop-de-doo. Alright, number 8 is the Ice Flower. So pretty much you take the Fire Flower, and instead of throwing fireballs, you throw ice balls, which you can freeze your enemies. This is actually really good against the dry bones because, you know, they're immortal and they don't die. But once you freeze them, you can pick up the ice block with the dry bone inside and chuck it against the wall or something like that, and they'll break and they'll die. So that, besides using the star or a cape or the leaf, I think the super leaf worked on them. I'm not sure. That's the only other ways that you can kill, you know, the dry bones. Other than that, you know, the Ice Flower has other purposes, like in Mario Galaxy, you know, being able to let you walk across water, because as soon as you touch the water, you instantly freeze it into like a little like honeycomb shape that you can walk upon, and then you can just keep walking and make a road. And also the freeze, the fountains that are just shooting up water, you just jump on top of it and you freeze it into the honeycomb shape and use it as platforms. So there's multiple uses for the Ice Flower, so. So number 7 is the Fire Flower. So like the Ice Flower, this time around you're actually throwing fireballs. This is, you know, the most famous one because it's one of the first power-ups that you get to see in the first level of the first Super Mario Brothers. Well, it's one of the 3 of the power-ups that you actually see, and it's one of the original 3, so that's why it's gotta be somewhere on the list. But yeah, this is also used in like Mario Galaxy and stuff like that. The light torches, sort of like how you do it in the Legend of Zelda games. You have to light torches to access certain things, and they sort of put that in Super Mario Galaxy game. So that's another use for it, besides just throwing random fireballs and killing Koopa at the end of each 4th level on Super Mario Brothers. Just spam the fireballs at them instead of trying to run and go get the axe to cut the bridge. So number 6 we have the Mega Mushroom, where like the Super Mushroom that grows you, you know, from this to this on the screen. This thing grows you to this size where you cover the whole screen you just pretty much run through everything. I mean, you destroy pipes instantly, you destroy bricks, you destroy all your enemies instantly. Nothing can stop you with this. You're like pretty much essentially Marvel's Giant Man, just running rampage through it. It only lasts for so long, but I mean, when you get one, it's so much fun because you're just like, oh look, I'm fucking gigantic, look at me destroy everything in my pathway. So I mean, that's how I feel when I get it. I'm like, destruction, yes. Okay, so number 5, we got the Superstar, or the Starman, or Starman, depending on what you want to call it. Yeah, you know, pretty much you get the star, you become invincible for a short time, but you get that catchy beat, and you get those rainbow colors affecting you, where it's like psychedelic Mario almost. Well, he's flashing the psychedelic rainbow colors, but it's, yeah, you get the cool beat, and you're invincible for a while. Plus, if you're playing like Super Mario Brothers 3, you do the sweet front flips. So yeah, that's cool too. Especially if you have the raccoon tail, because then the raccoon tail's sticking out while you're doing the flips. But yeah, it's an awesome power-up. I love always getting the stars and being like, haha, just running it's pretty much like the Mega Mushroom, just run rampage through everything, but you just can't destroy brick blocks and pipes. But destroy all your enemies though, no problem there. Okay, so number 4 we have the Cape Feather, you know, the iconic Cape Feather from Super Mario World, where as soon as you know, killed that special little Koopa that was flying with the rainbow colored flashing cape, you stomped on him and you saw the feather floating down, you're like, oh, what's that? What's that up there? I'm gonna grab that. And you grab it, and then you get the famous yellow cape, and you're like, the fuck is this? Am I a superhero now? Essentially Super Mario, yeah. But it's cool because you can run and then start flying, and then you can do the whole hover thing. Well, you're not really hovering, you're like gliding, I guess, where he grabs the back end of the cape and like creates like a parachute type thing, and he's like, woo, woo. And then you can come down with it and do like a big ground pound into the ground using the cape. And then you can also fly while you're on top of Yoshi. So you can take Yoshi with you when you go flying and stuff. So it's versatile on that. Okay, so number 3 we got the iconic, well not really, well iconic because the Hammer Brothers wear it, but you hardly ever see Mario wear it. I remember this being a really rare suit to actually get in Super Mario Brothers 3, the Hammer Brothers suit. I like it personally because of the icon, the little icons for the suit, and the fact that, you know, you get to chuck hammers like the Hammer Brothers. You're like, oh, for once I'm using an enemy's weapon against them, you know. So, but with the Hammer Brothers suit, I mean, it was one of the rarest ones to actually get, you know, defined. It's like a rare drop, I guess, compared to the Tanuki suit. Every at least 1 or 2 gameplays, you probably got Tanuki suit sometime during Super Mario Brothers 3. But what sucks about the Hammer Brothers suit is they came out with the Boomerang Brothers suit. This because in the newer ones, like I think the 3D Land and 3D World, you actually get like a Hammer Brothers suit, but instead of the hammers, you're actually throwing the boomerangs like some of the Hammer Brothers do. So that pretty much like, it's like, oh, it's cool and all, but you know, now it's like, oh, I can just go to this level and go get it instead of like a random, you know, mushroom or something like that, where you're like, oh, did I get the Hammer Brothers suit? But you're like, oh, I didn't get it. Okay, so number 2 we have the Super Leaf, the famous little leaf that you got in Super Mario Super Mario Brothers 3. Sorry, throat a little dry. That you turn into the raccoon Mario. I always like this one because it's the iconic, you know, look for Mario. Sometimes when a lot of people do you know, certain designs like this, you know, for Mario, you know, they always put the raccoon tail, and you know, because that's what a lot of people remember Mario as, this or Super Mario Brothers. You know, no one remembers the Super Mario Brothers 2 or the way he looked in Super Mario World. See this with the raccoon tail or the 8-bit counterpart, you know. So that's how a lot of people remember it. I like the power up because it was the first time you got to fly in the game. So because Cape Feather came after the Super Leaf, so this was kind of cool because you're like, oh, I get to fly? Oh, what? There's secrets up there? Oh, this is fucking awesome. But yeah, it's a good power up. I like it. Okay, so for number 1, we have the Tanuki suit. Famous full-body Tanuki suit, sort of made you look like a raccoon, but you're actually a mythical creature from Japan named the Tanuki. I want to recommend looking up a picture of the Tanuki because they have big giant testicles, so I don't want any kids going and be like, oh, a Tanuki is a mythical creature from Japan? I'm going to look it up. And then they see that the Tanuki has big giant testicles. So yeah, I don't want any kids looking up Tanuki, the mythical creature, and seeing that it has big giant testicles. But yeah, so pretty much you put on the Tanuki suit, you look like a full body raccoon. Mario's face sticks out of the front. But what the cool thing about the Tanuki suit is you're like, hey, look at those enemies, they're coming after me. What if I just turned into the statue? And you turn into the statue and they just walk by not even noticing you. You're like, who the fuck was that? I don't know, I didn't even know that statue was there. So yeah, that's the way it works, you know. So it's kind of cool that, you know, he's turned into a statue and enemies just walked by. No problem. But yeah, this has been an episode of the Retro Nerds Top 10. I hope you enjoyed hearing my top 10 for the top 10 Mario power-ups. Because Super Mario May's over. Thank God.